That's relief valve for lubricating the axle. We haven't did anything like that.
That there?
Yeah, and all the axle's drilled inside, like it's got oil galleries through there, out the back. The brake linkage actually runs up through the axle, look. That runs through, up through the centre of the axle to that there.
Bloody hell, the workmanship to be able to do that. Days before CNC. How many setups to be able to do all of that? Jesus, what?
You can't believe it.
And what's this? Is this adjustability here? So you can adjust the camber?
No, it's more or less like the bottom of your kingpin where it bolts in on the bottom.
Right, right.
Brake adjuster on that, just on like a little ratchet. Just click it around. Simple, but it's effective,
doesn't sound
isn't it?
safe, does it?
I think it's trick. I think it's bloody trick. And what we're like for spring ratings, boys, we've obviously got a bit more weight in it now than we
So
had.
it sits, I was trying to get the ride height to look right, so I've just put them blocks in to sit it up, so it just sits down a bit soft. But the back, I've got it pulled down on a couple of ratchet straps underneath.
Yeah.
Because it's obviously got no weight in the back, but when it gets 60 gallon of fuel in it, it's going to sit, she'll have a bit of traction then. But yeah, I'll probably just re-temper those springs up a bit. It's there or thereabouts on the height's about right. So we'll go with the coolant on there, header tank above.
Open this out, get a bit of rad.
Open
bigger
that
rad in.
out. Air intakes through the front, that's not too big an issue. Got to get the water pumps on the sump underneath, get that curve back round and the feed to the bottom of the radiator, and then run over the top with two pipes to the back of the headers because the outlet is at the back of those heads for the
The top hose comes out the back of the head.
Right, yeah.
So it's
yeah.
got-
But you just
come
run
right
down
out.
the top of there, that's no big shakes, is it, down that? And into there.
Header tank here. Right, okay, okay. Where's what?
Water pumps in the bottom of the sump straight down.
Right.
So we can come from that. But when we had this down to the absolute bare block, one of the things that we had to do, because I wanted to put the flywheel on the end of the crank, the cranking knees are fed from both ends with the oil feeds. That's how originally they were fed. So obviously, come off one end, you've done away with that. So we got it down to the bare V of the block. We drilled every V, put the block in the milling machine. We drilled down through it, about 400 mil down.
Into where?
Into the main bearing on each one.
Right.
Drilled and machined the shells to fit it, and that's what this is. I've made all this. So we've
made all what?
Yeah, so we've separately oil fed it off this manifold. So we've diverted the oil flow from the main oil pump in the sump up through this filter to this manifold. That distributes it back down on the mains. They've given it an extra feed to the cams as well.
So originally it was end-fed crank,
Yeah.
right? And now you're feeding it through the main bearing, sort of a conventional setup. So have you had to put a separate main oil gallery in then?
No, because we're feeding it from the front, and then the rest of the oil gallery is independent. So we fed that off the manifold. So one of those goes to the main original gallery.
Yeah.
One of them goes to the crank, and then the top of all the mains are fed from this. And the end of the crank we're still feeding from this end as well. We blanked the back end off. So it's got like an extra...
Wept. Bloody hell. Have you heard of that being done before?
Well, that Kevin Whittingham, the tractor pulling lad, he did it originally because they were obviously trying to get off the back of the crank. They just drilled the caps on the bottom to start with, and the first ones they did, and just fed all the caps with a set of independent hoses inside.
Yeah.
But it worked. When you think about power of an engine's pushing down into the cap, isn't it?
Of course it is, yeah.
So
Yes,
you really want to feed your oil from the top, don't you?
Yeah.
So then gone for this technology now to actually get it to the very bare block, drill it.
How long did it run for?
The one that he did?
No, you.
This?
How long is it? Yeah.
They've run it quite a bit now.
Oh, have you? Oh, it wasn't one off
couple
then.
of hours.
Yeah,
isn't
yeah.
it?
Yeah,
done a couple of
I run
hours.
it for a couple of
Went
hours.
through a
on
phase
that.
of revenue.
I ran out of
just
money
for
on
laugh.
fuel, to be honest.
Yeah, ran out of fuel.
Bloody hell, litre a minute.
Yeah. So the thing with that is, right, people say, what's it going to do miles per gallon? The secret is, the faster you go, the cheaper it is.
Why?
Because it uses a litre a minute, so the quicker you can go, you can get somewhere cheaper, can't you?
You're right, yeah.
So committed driving and
Committed driving,
speeds your friends.
Speeds your friends, cheaper you go.
What are you going to drive off here?
Some sort of charger, alternator, dynamo, off that. And then I think I'm going to I was originally thinking a mechanical driven fan, but I think it's too complicated. I'm going to go for an electric fan behind that.
Yeah.
Just put a nice dynamo on there, generator of some description. This thing on here, that was for a manifold. They had the hydraulically operated props feathering on it.
Yeah.
So I've obviously taken all that off, so that's just capped off for now, but there is actually drive under that as well. And then it's got the 2-speed supercharger, which we can change manually. It was done automatically in the plane with the altitude, but that's hydraulically done with a solenoid. It's just done off oil pressure.
Right.
Dead clever inside, 2 clutch packs, all done off the engine oil. And you just flick it from one to the other, it changes gear on the supercharger. So we can change gear on the supercharger.
Like, what do you want to do with it? And it's like, obviously, the first thing to do is, well, like we've just been discussing, get it on the dyno, and then go to the pub in it, and then go to somewhere, I don't know, Pendine or somewhere, and go and have a run, and not try and do a speed record with it or anything ridiculous, but go and soak it all up and do 100 mile an hour on Pendine Sands with it or something like that. You know,
That'd be some achievement,
That's
wouldn't it?
That's my aim goal. If I can do 100 mile an hour in Pendine on this, we're not going to try and go and beat, because they died trying to beat records in it. But you know what it's like on sand. You've been there and done it. If you could drive this 100 mile an hour down there, behind that, sat in there, you'd just swum the channel with that, haven't you? It's like, wow. and people to stand and witness it at the side of one of these go past you, 100 mile an hour.
On the pipe.
That's
on
so
the
wow.
pipe. Stood 10 foot away from this, you come past you 100 mile an hour, you'd be spinning your hat, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
So that's the goal and the dream with it, isn't it? To go and do something like that. Because it would just be the experience of going and doing that, because it's where all the greats went, isn't it? You know, like Perry Thomas and all that. That was there. And they died like 170, 80 mile an hour, didn't they? Like their heads come off and all sorts of horrific stories. And that one, he died there and they dug it and buried the car in the sand dunes, didn't they? That Babs, that was, you know, it's fantastic. But to take this back there as it's our interpretation and relive what those very, very brave men did, but hopefully we go home to have our tea, would just be an experience, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
So that's what we want to do. But that's encouraging. That dyno of yours doing that. That's fantastic. So I didn't know anyone or anything who would let you go and do it, or something that would, you know. That's
the way to do it is a controlled environment, isn't it? You've got plenty of air to go out. So
to get to that point, so the cooling system-wise, we've got the radiator covered. We're going to get that on, and then it's going to be a thing of trying that and seeing whether that works or not.
Electric fan on it.
Electric fan on that on the back
oil
of it.
tank, fuel tank.
So I need oil tanks. Fuel tank, I'm on with that. That's going to be what it's going to be. Oil tank and batteries, really. So I'm down to...
Finish the gearbox installation, isn't it?
Yeah, gearbox installation, gear linkages and all that. I mean, I was just thinking getting the handbrake lashed up and a pair of things to it, so when you push it around, you can pull the handbrake on. I'm not so bothered about the front end, because we don't need that in your dyno, do we?
No.
Do you know what I mean? That's like another day's worry about brakes and servos and all the rest of it.
But do the minimum amount that you need to get it on the dyno, and then I'm sure you'll come back with way more.
We'll go, it either works, it doesn't work, it's rodded
because you'll do a load of stuff, you think, oh, that's not going to work now. But if you get it on the dyno, you'll know all of this.
Yeah.
You fucking spend all week on it if you want.
Yeah. So it's getting the oil tank. I don't know whether to run an oil cooler on it or not, or whether to, because running an oil cooler increase your water trying to heat your water up, which you're obviously trying to keep the cooler as possible. Do you put an independent oil cooler on? Do you not worry about it? Do you run with enough oil that you shouldn't actually get the oil that hot, because you're not going to be running it for 5, like in an aeroplane when they're on, just
full
doing
chat
for 5 hours. I mean, we can't.
But then again, the gain of those boys, they've got the air flowing through it, and to take the heat away. You know what I mean? I don't think you'd want to be running, especially it's going to be limited if you can expel all the heat through this side of the radiator. So if you're putting heat from the oil in there as well, so you'd need an air to oil cooler, wouldn't you? Rather than an heat exchanger.
I think we're better off if you needed to. You could run underneath it some oil coolers. You know, there's one. What at the back of a decent freezer when you turn around, you have the tubes with all the little fins on, don't you?
You do.
You could maybe run something like that down it, couldn't you?
Try and get rid of a bit of heat through
the oil. But that could be a later date, because you can obviously put temperature gauge.
What oil are you running in it? With the Morris stuff.
Morris is. I just run it on the straight 40 last time we ran it, but we need to.
And that's a. Fucking modern oil. It's not a castor-based oil, is it?
No, it's modern oil, yeah.
Right.
But that's one thing we need to speak to about we need to speak to the oil gurus in here and see what they actually think is going to be the right thing for it. Because I don't know whether because they're talking aeroplanes, they're talking 100 weights in the oil. Well, I'm like, I don't know what.
No, I can't.
But I did try. They did
like
start
gear oil type.
Yeah, it's like salt. That's aeroplane stuff. It was in weight. But I know there's a chap here somewhere who knows all about that. So. That was that. Where do you think you should go with the oil tanks? I'm thinking, I've got to try and fit them in here somewhere.
What sort of capacity have we got to try and get in there?
Well, I'm thinking 50 litres.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's all right. You think
Wouldn't you say? 50, 60 litres, something like that?
Well, them fucking big F816s hold 50 litres, don't they?
Well, I'm thinking like 2 5-gallon drum-sized tanks.
Well, could you...
But
have the engine oil tank in such a way with fins on it so you could try and expel a bit of heat from
Maybe.
the oil when it's in its tank.
Yeah, well, I'll just lift them off there because for like the technical.
Take the floor pan out.
Take the floor pan out.
That's a nice job. Is that original?
Yeah. But I've got all the other cross members that I've took out of the chassis, which I'm going to put back into it in various places when I finish knowing what I need to know where it goes. So I'm wondering about like a tank in there. We had that seat up on that piece of 4-inch wood, so you could obviously come up right underneath the seat right across, couldn't you? You could almost
make a saddle tank.
And make the oil tank be a prop guard as well.
Yeah. I suppose the prop does want going in a decent piece of tube, doesn't it?
But that diff's as good a quality as that. Yeah.
They're good quality things, aren't they? Whether it just breaks the input shaft off. I honestly don't know what it'll do.
Yeah, it'd be a bloody ball. You've got to keep them brakes, the look, and you've got to keep the look right. If you
That's the thing, it's got to look right and be right, hasn't it, what it was? So
because like the sensible thing to do would be to stick a Ford 9-inch in it, wouldn't it? That's what all them dragmen are doing. Yeah. My old Volvo's got a 9-inch back axle in it.
Yeah.
Mint job. Yeah, but it's not in keeping, is it?
No.
Well, that's a fair size of a lump in it when you compare it to.
Yeah.
So I reckon the tank's in there then, really.
The oil tanks will definitely go in there, won't they? Yeah, there's nothing else to go here, is there, no?
No.
It's having enough. If you get fins on it, you can increase the surface area of the oil tank, and those fins could act as a radiator to get rid of the heat, couldn't they? You know what I mean? Just try and get rid of as much heat in as many places as possible. Otherwise you end up with pipes and coolers and everywhere.
Yeah, you don't want it, do you? Really? I mean, one idea was to put a set of tanks on the outside of it, almost like they have, you see like drop tanks on the.
Yeah.
Like some of them even put like a stubby wing on them. Just put 2 outside tanks on, but I don't know. I'm not 100% as keen on that as. He drew that on that. That lad Simon who's doing the thing with us. He drew on that drawing like a set of tanks.
That's bloody nice. But how many hours was in that?
Quite a bit, because I made a press tool to press it all. Well, I was just going off like aircraft design with that when they pressed the strength into. Like on that, look. You're like a set of oil, airdrop oil tanks on the side of it. We'll try and keep it all in board.
Brakes are all right. What are you going to use as brake actuators?
Well, I think mechanical rods all the way back to it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Got some really nice off it. They have like a cross shaft in it, and they've got they're like mechanical servo. But so when you pull on one, you get twin, like a torque multiplier in a linkage basically. So you come in with one rod and you go out with the other. When you twist it, it like doubles the load up through it.
Yeah.
I'm thinking of you like trying to use them out of the original car, put those into it, and then mechanical.
Yeah, sort of mechanical vacuum brakes. Bloody work's gone into it up to now.
And then I think you need some sort of, when you look at how some of the period ones were done, come up with a bar up here and then a linkage down like a cable to stop the twist in the spring.
If we can get enough, if we can get it to stand enough torque, then obviously the next thing's going to be to do is to try and get some weight transfer backwards and stop it from ripping the back axle straight out of it, isn't it?
No, I don't understand what you're saying here. Go on.
If we can get it to put the power down and start to use anything like where we are with the horsepower it's got, we're gonna it's gonna want tramp bars or some kind of period 4 linking, isn't it? Or something's gonna have to go on with it.
Because you try and twist the springs, roll the springs up, don't they?
I don't know.
Like,
yeah, when you try and if you imagine if that's gripping like hell, and then you put the power into the axle, it wants to roll the axle on them springs like that, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So if that's your leaf spring, it's trying to put an S into. So if you slow-mo a car or a truck or something that's trying to drill the power, it's got loads of traction, like the springs like trying to
get the big S shape in the front of the spring, and then
it unrolls
and
again.
then you've got no damping to try and keep up with it.
So I'm only learning this because I'm not a race thing, but he's been doing it since he was in that.
Oh, so you know about all of this, right?
And so like you have in your race truck, you have like a nodder bar, don't you? So it's like a top link bar off a tractor, that kind of thing, with like 2 things, and it comes from the bottom of the axle back to the back
Oh,
thing.
like an old Volvo A-frame setup.
Yeah.
That's sort of,
yeah, like the Fodens had them in, didn't they? Stop and rolling the.
yeah,
With
that's
the
what
big,
the goal of that. That's what the idea of that is.
yeah. I like the double drive tractor units, like that thing out there, that V8 of mine. That's got like a great big A-frame to both the back axles stop and rolling the axles about when you put in the when you're delivering. So when you've got the grip and the power, it tries to.
Well, whether we're going to get any grip with this or not, so anybody's guess.
No. Yeah. Well, then we could go for duals on it, because that was another thing. If you are getting to that point, they used to dual them up, didn't they?
Is that what they did?
Yeah. Well, then you're really probably going to break half shaft.
Something's here, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, break half shaft, break prop shaft, shear something's in the gearbox, rip the middle of the clutch out.
Yeah.
There'll be a lot of
full of happiness, you are today.
No, you just need to be, don't you? If it happens, we think, oh yeah, well, at least that
engineer your way forward.
Oh, no, I'm all for that. But yeah, like me going out on my bike on Monday morning, boy, I was thinking, wow. Nearly talked myself out of going out again. I said, right.
It scared you?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's actually scared you.
Yeah, genuinely, because
Have a word with yourself.
Like just.
What it's shaking its head.
Yeah, and that was I just shut off like 2. It was only with that 203 or something. Just shut off and it just went. And I just felt the brake and then it just went lock solid, went straight off. And I can't get to do it since. Why the did he do it? And I went out again. I
just
thought,
doing 203. Like
yeah,
most
just
you know what I mean? You know what I mean? But that wasn't. You know what I mean?
I remember doing 35 mile an hour with my moped and being scared stiff.
You know what I mean? I need to understand the science of why it did that.
Yeah.
And
that's the scary.
Yeah, I could put a variable steering damper and I could do all of that.
Because it could not do it for five, 6 times, and then one day we go for the big thing. It does a massive one.
I know. This is the thing.
And then, like you say, you don't want to. You
It
don't
goes
want
for
to
a
be.
massive one. It's a steering lock anyway, but it went for a massive one.
You don't want to be dismounting.
Off the front. If you're coming off over the handlebars at fucking 200 miles, you're
yeah.
So I want to take that into account. You see, I just want to understand. That's why I was trying, because he did it, and I thought if it does it every time, I can work with it. Then if it does it every time, and I know it just does that, and once I've braked, it gets rid of it. Then I can live with that. That's grand.
Yeah.
It's grand. But it fucking won't do it again. But I tried to get it to do it, and it did it a little bit, but it won't.
You know, like one of them stupid things that when you grease your front fork, on your headstock bearing or something, it's got that little bit more. It'd be something ridiculous. You'd like them sort of stupid things, isn't it?
I know. But say I put another mill into the back, or took a mill out the front.
Yeah.
Would it put it in a window that would make it even worse? So it got once it started,
it so
just
near?
got worse.
Yeah.
And I don't understand the science, so I need to know. I need to know why. But it's achieved the goal. It's achieved by doing what I've done. It's achieved the goal of getting the wheel out of the way and getting the bike as low as full.
Does it feel better being low on it?
It's fucking mega. It feels mega.
Yeah, but you just don't want a big tank slapper.
I just need to answer the questions, but yeah.
And there's no other way of doing it other than riding it, is there? You can't say dyno.
Can't get the
If
chassis
you just
on
went
the
off all
dyno.
these clever, you'd never ride it. You wouldn't even take it out of the shed.
No.
But actually, it's sort of all right.
Well, that's like this, isn't it? Everyone says, well, you'll never harness that down. That'll kill you. That'll think you're going to blow that up. You're going to do this. You're going to do that. Well, let's not bother
then. Exactly. I think you're the right way of thinking here. The fuse is there.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
The shear pin on this is that.
Yeah.
Tractive effort, isn't it?
Yeah.
That is your weakest link, I hope.
But there's plenty of pressure in the
it'll
tyre,
come between then the snatch between the grip and the drive.
How's it going to Yes.
Yeah. If it spins up and then grabs and all that might be when we start to.
And where's the centre of gravity? How's the chassis going to do it? Is it going to suddenly flick? Is it going to try and roll?
And then your rolling grip will be more, won't it? If you're doing pulling 60, 70 in it, and then you bury it in a big gear, it's got the torque through that. That'll be massive, won't it? If it can still keep traction.
Probably just break traction again, won't it?
But it'll be bigger.
No, so go on. What is it? If you're doing
you'll have
60,
more traction, won't it? If you are
once the rolling speeds up.
Yeah.
Once the rolling speeds up, then a bare start, won't it?
Yeah.
So that might be more chance of breaking it, but if you can hold this back on your dyno if you could bring that to 1,000 horsepower going down onto the ground on this on your dyno, to just say we stood there, surely that would break it somewhere. You're never going to get much more than that, are you?
Oh, man, you can break it down. You'd need some power to stop it. Well, the most powerful thing I've had on was that bloody Volvo, man, at 850 horsepower. Yeah. And it holds that back.
Yeah. Yeah, but like I say, if you
but what Alex is saying is if we dyno this up, and we can get it to do 1,000 horsepower or something close. It doesn't break down. It's not going to break, is it?
Well, I think my dyno is harder than the real world because you've got a serrated steel roller. It's strapped down, so you're going to get way more grip on there.
Yeah, that's the point. Yeah,
that's what I mean. That's if we can bring it up relatively once we've got comfortable with it. Think about actually this is all right. And it hasn't exploded in the first 5 minutes. Right, go on then. Pull it up. Pull 800,000 horsepower out of it. Yeah, I'll be confident to go and take that and drive that down Pendine Sands.
Yeah.
Oh,
but it's just how the chassis going to deal with it.
Yeah.
This is the thing. Like you're talking about here with the springs and all that. which I don't understand that.
Like I tried
have
to
no
get.
experience.
So first thing that Dave's brother Jelly gave me like the lecture on is like at the centre of gravity, getting the weight down. Was getting the crank between the chassis rails, which obviously when he explained to me, because the engine, if you imagine an engine's trying to rotate itself around the crank rather than turn the crank, isn't it, technically, if you're loading it up. So you've got, so if you're high up, it's higher up than thing. If you're lower, your chassis is your level playing field, isn't it?
Yes.
So then that's when you come to where I've got sat that. I tried to sit it as low crank in the chassis, but you're obviously then hindered by the sump and the bit and the prop line. But I think I've got it as good as I can get it.
Fucking mega.
But that chassis is twin skin now, guy, in that. I know it doesn't look it, but there's a chassis inside a chassis. Back to there. From there forward, it's all twin chassis. Well, I left this back bit because I thought we need a little bit more flex. Because I didn't want it pulling on it, like it's.
You want no looking. It just looks pretty.
It's a ladder chassis, you see, isn't it? So you've got no strength in it like that. But what I didn't want it to do when it's bolted to the engine is give the engine block too much grief. Some people said, "Oh, you mustn't do that." Other people, same as you've had some. You won't break that engine. Them engines were built. They're bolted in the plane. The plane pulls the plane along off the engine mounts, doesn't it? Why is it?
True.
So that makes perfect sense when that got explained to me. Someone else says, "Oh, don't let your chassis pull on your engine. You can wreck it." So my engine mounts, they're out of what they call a Sea Griffon. So they've made a version of this engine that they put in the torpedo boats.
Yeah, supercharged.
Yeah, but with a supercharger on the other way, only single speed, comes up out the top of the air intake up here. They were built for the torpedo boat. So these are the engine mounts that they used on those. So I got these off a lad who got them in his stores. I've made these engine mounts on there to drop. You see how it's like got the angle into it now and dropped it all?
Yes.
To drop my engine down. So that's it's like these are beautiful inside. These are spherical washers all packed with grease and you can adjust the tension. But that's got dampening in there. But they're like a genuine Rolls-Royce part. Then I machined the other one off and sat that inside the frame under here. And then that sits into their cross member.
Oh, so those four mounts, they're the same. They're the same mounts.
Well, they're the real deal for the job. Proper Rolls-Royce. And then I've put this like tubular cross member, which is genuine parts off the car again. We've got that underneath there. Got that into that to try and get a bit of stiffness into it. So when I'm happy, when we sort of get it to a point of I'm going to whip the engine, I'm going to rivet all this lot up. I'll just rivet the whole, everything that's got all in it. Yeah. And rivet to that internal chassis then.
Yeah. Keep it period.
Yeah. You'll have to strengthen it then, won't it?
Work, boy.
Yeah.
Plenty of work.
Plenty of work. When we're running it on the frame in the yard. So I've got a really nice.
You've just, you know what I mean? There's a fucking lot of work in
I've got a really nice set of proper machined flanges, and I was originally thought I was going to take nice stainless things in, but I actually like the
raw
period. But I don't know whether to squash these, cut them off. I did think about should there be more an angle down here, or do we like them out? I have thought maybe about having a slip over manifold on it as well with a
get it into, collect it up, and get it going.
Offensive. Nah. You can drive it with your earplugs
That's it then. That's it. Drive it with your earplugs.
Yeah, get the earplugs in, boys.
I don't think you're going to quieten it down anyhow, are we?
That'll be the thing in your workshop. How bad will that be?
Neighbours are sound, mate. Neighbours are sound.
Yeah,
don't worry.
Just tell them you're just test driving your Lancaster bomber.
I'll be all right. Fucking time.
I know. Who'd have thought that?
You going back tonight?
Yeah.
Work to do, boys.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm going to get cracking.
Yeah.
Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe so you don't miss an episode.